I can watch where you're carrying that, man.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. Some of these things are a little rickety.
The chairs? I don't give a shit if you break the chair. That would be hilarious if you broke the chair, especially on air. I just don't want you fucking up my equipment.
Fucking course. That's what you're worried about.
Fuck! Oh, man. I wish you would have sat down when you broke it. That would have been perfect because guess what? I am recording.
Oh, of course Dave's fucking recording. Why wouldn't he fucking be? Tell you what, I'll break you and sit down on you.
All right. Enough of that shit. It's come to this, I guess. We are on this site called buymeacoffee.com/valleyboyspodcast where you can fund our liquor problems. I don't have a problem, but Brandon does. He's already spent the money we've received on drugs, marijuana. Some of that will go towards his rehabilitation. Don't worry, and we'll fix some of these broken chairs with it. So far, we've had Shitty Meadow, Shitty Steve, Shitty Doug number 3, Shitty Dino or Dino, wherever. You know that fucking guy who's always online with that other dude, the barbecue man?
Yes.
I don't know. I think they're the same person. And then Shitty Someone. They didn't leave a name. So thank you guys for already donating. If you want your name read out, get on there. Next week, we'll have you going. That's buymeacoffee.com/valleyboyspodcast.
Thank you much.
Anyways, what a week it's been. We are coming at you the day after the Capitol building fiasco. This is the day after the Georgia runoff. What do you say about that, Brandon? What are your thoughts on the Georgia runoff, on how the Democrats have fucking taken over Georgia?
Stolen the election 2.0.
No one stole any election, let alone Georgia. Georgia already flipped blue.
They're fucking stealing votes. I'll tell you what. You know why they fucking won? It's because they kept counting the votes. If they would have stopped, if they would have stopped, they wouldn't have had so many votes.
See, people listening to this are going to think you're joking. He's not. He really believes that. He's like, if you stop counting the votes, then there's no more votes. You know what he said earlier? He's like, it's not election day.
Yeah.
Or no, he said it's not election week, it's election day.
That's
so
right.
They have to stop counting the votes at midnight.
Goddamn right, man.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, so anyways, now that we have full control of the Senate, we're going to get things passed like, I don't know, we're going to decriminalize marijuana. That's great news for you.
Oh, is it? Because I remember old fucking Joseph Red Biden there saying that, that wasn't in his platform or his fucking agenda. He wasn't worried about that shit.
Maybe he's not the one to bring it up, but somebody will.
Well, knowing Joe, he's probably already forgotten about that, so someone will push it along.
There you go. He'll be like, oh, the reefer corn pop was into that. We can't have any of that.
Yeah, you know what? There's actually a bill that did go through Congress a couple weeks ago, like right before Christmas. You know who one of the co-sponsors of that bill was to take marijuana off the scheduled substances list? One of the best congressmen in the history of Congress, Mr. Matt Gaetz.
Oh, my God. Really? He wants weed or doesn't? Sorry.
No, to decriminalize it.
Right. It's because despite how crazy he is, he's our age, you know. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
So he knows that shit is
great hair.
Matt Gaetz, you're talking about his hair right now?
He's got great hair.
That's about it. That's about the only thing he has going for him, that and his age, and people our age understand that marijuana isn't that big of a deal, except for when you do it because you have a problem. But
Dick.
Decriminalizing it on the federal level means one thing. If you haven't invested in anything, invest in fucking cannabis. That shit is going to skyrocket once legislation's the only thing holding that industry down. Everybody likes smoking weed, especially Brandon. Brandon alone makes up for probably a quarter of all marijuana bought and sold in California. So
I'm doing my part to keep people employed during the pandemic because of Kim Jong-un. I'm trying to shut down everything. So somebody has to fucking help. So
Kim Jong-un?
Kim Jong-un. There's a royal palace sitting up looking down upon the masses. But yeah, we don't need to talk about that asshole because he's going to be recalled here before too long. There are already over 1 million votes in that recall effort.
Is that real though? Like,
yeah. So all right. So I was a little
the process.
Yeah. So I was a little drunk and high and God knows what else the last time we talked about this. So here's the deal. So they have to get signatures by like mid-March, and I believe it's like 1.5 million unique signatures in order to put a recall on the ballot, and that would happen like August, September this year. So what would happen then with it would be a two-part question. One, should Unsum be recalled? And if the answer to that is yes, then it would be a free-for-all. So like last time I said you had Gary Coleman, Schwarzenegger, the porn star, like Roseanne, I think, ran.
Bart Simpson.
Yeah, exactly. So, but in a way, it's kind of the best election possible because it's all these candidates. They can go out there, put out their platform, and you get to vote for fucking any of them. Whoever has the most votes wins, which is how democracy should be. But yeah, so they have over 1 million votes right now. So they need to 1.8. I'm sorry, 1.8 is the number. They get to 1.8 million signatures, then it'll get put on the ballot.
Interesting. So those people at the grocery store with their American flag cowboy hats, they're not as crazy as they sound with all their signs. They're actually collecting signatures that help recall him. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, by the people at the grocery store, patriots. Yes, those people are actually helping further democracy.
Fucking patriots. You mean like those patriots in Capitol Hill?
Oh, absolutely. Every last one.
You're calling them patriots? What are they though? Are they patriots or are they Antifa? Because your boyfriend Matt Gaetz called them Antifa on the Senate floor. That's hilarious. Like you people can't fucking. What I mean by you people is you conservatives. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, liberal Dave. You people.
Oh man, I've already gotten in trouble this week by saying the wrong shit at the wrong time. I'm gonna try and hold myself together here, but. You conservatives are blaming Antifa for this and the left. You see that psycho Tommy Gregory Loren?
Yeah.
She's saying that she's like, well, number one, Black Lives Matter did it before. And then, you know, and it's like, what the fuck does that have to do with what's going on right now? And it's like, well, the left. They can't acknowledge that, you know what? There's psychos on the extremes of both sides. Not that Black Lives Matter is an extreme. That's a separate issue. But this is conservatives, the psychopaths breaking away from that, the hardcore Trump supporters, the QAnon fucks going after, storming the Capitol building and taking it over, and one of them got killed.
Right.
And they're comparing that to George Floyd, and that, like, no.
Well, here's the thing. So those fucking idiots, they're not conservatives. Especially with the whole QAnon shit, man. That's the dumbest shit I've heard in my life. But you have to actually say real conservatives, they stayed home. They didn't go to Washington to march for, and I'll be the first one to admit that like there was no voter fraud. It's been investigated. There were hand recounts. There were machine recounts. You've even finally had Republicans coming out and like Brad Raffensperger in Georgia, the governor of Georgia, he's like, Biden won. Let's move on.
I'm sorry. What did you say a second ago? You said that there was no what? No evidence of
no evidence of voter fraud in. Well, that's a national election, Dave.
Say it again. Say it again. One more time. There's no what?
Well, there's no voter fraud as of right now, but also my foot isn't in your ass right now either.
Still.
Both of those things can change in an instant.
No voter fraud. That's the important thing. You heard it from the dump truck himself. No voter fraud, and that's what they're trying to say. That's what Trump is telling them. He's instructing him, this election was stolen from us. We got to do something about it. The fight's just beginning. And then he says crazy shit like that. That is inciting the riot. Is it not? When he says crazy shit like that, and then even when they forced him to take a video by the Rose Garden, you know, to tell everyone to get the fuck out of the Capitol building, he said, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to America. However, you need to go home. And then he went on and on about how the election was stolen. They cheated the election. He's trying to steal the election at every step. Every single thing he's doing is trying to steal the election, whether it's strong-arming the Secretary of State in Georgia, or it's taking it to the Supreme Court in all these different states. It's not going to work. You lost. Go home.
All right. So, and that's why I say, because I get attacked by those people on Twitter all the time too. So it's not like, you know, those are my people. Like,
in fairness, you get attacked by everybody.
Well, yeah,
the
but
right,
for different reasons usually. So sometimes it's social reasons, but this time it's like political. And so all those people have been showing up on my Twitter to bitch at me. It's like, oh, well, I thought you're an American. I thought you're a patriot. I'm like, I'm a conservative and I'm a true patriot, but that means acknowledging bullshit when bullshit happens.
Right.
And those people, they just want to fucking bitch at me and tell me that I'm a fucking asshole because I won't just jump on the bandwagon, and just because Trump says there's voter fraud. Okay, cool. Where's the evidence? Well, here's an article from some right-wing blog on the internet.
Some idiot screeching into
yeah.
his cell phone camera.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those people. So there's a difference between conservatives and the Trump people. The Trump people, they don't give a shit about anything except Trump. That's their fucking leader.
And for the record, we're talking about Trump people now, today.
Yeah.
Like, if you're still on that Trump train, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Republicans or conservatives. The Trump train, like 2021 people.
Right. Exactly. And so the thing is the sedition's the one word that keeps getting thrown around by the left because they love their goddamn buzzwords. Does it come close? Yeah. Does it cross the line to actual, like, I'll say it's fucking close. I'll go that far. It's kind of hard though, man. Like if he's not actually coming out and telling people, hey, you need to take action into your own hands. Like, this isn't just going to happen. Obviously, the courts aren't on our side. The states aren't on our side. The election commissions. So we're going to have to handle this ourselves. If he came out and said, yeah, that 100%, I would say, yeah, he's a fucking needs to be thrown in prison, taken out of office, the whole fucking 9 yards. But that in and of itself, I don't know if it crosses the border.
Well, if you cross that border, you need to build a wall. He
nowadays in favor of building a wall.
Yeah, on the northern border to keep Americans out of Canada. But here's the thing. He didn't directly say we need to storm the Capitol building, but he does use, and I agree with you, there is no black and white evidence. There's no smoking gun, as he calls it. That he's done that specifically, but he has indirectly. He absolutely has. Like, what did he tell you and your crew there? Stand down, or no, stand back and stand by.
Yes.
What the fuck, dude? And then here they are, you know. And then and they only stormed the building after he said that Mike Pence is a coward because he wanted Mike Pence to block the vote counting based on voter fraud. An electoral fraud.
Right.
Zero evidence of that. And then when Mike Pence wouldn't do it, which, number one, doesn't have the power.
Right.
And Pence acknowledged that. He issued a statement saying, one, I don't have the power. Two, I wouldn't do that. That's not what's going on here.
Right.
And so Trump called him a coward, and then right after that, they stormed the Capitol building. Right after.
So here's the thing, man. Let me break it down like this just to put things into perspective. So Trump had over 74 million votes this past election. Yesterday, there was about, 2, 3, maybe 4,000 tops that showed up in Washington. Out of that few thousand people, there were a few hundred that stormed the Capitol because there were people leaving. That was being reported. So some of the people that showed up for the rally, the vast majority were like, all right, man, this is taking shit too far. They got the fuck out of there. So we're talking about an infinite or a very small number of people. And at this point, these are shit disturbers. They're, fame hunters, whatever the fuck they are, just trying to cause ruckus. And yeah, those may be like the most loyal of Trump supporters. But we need to acknowledge that that's not everybody. That is not representative of the 74 million people that voted for him.
Of course. And I can acknowledge that as a reasonable person. However, when you have people, pundits, whatever, defending, not defending, but deflecting this sort of thing that's happening, what they like to do is cite Black Lives Matter, the left wing, Antifa, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, they're trying to sell advertising time.
Okay, but where were they when they were trying to paint everyone with the same brush back then? They're saying, look at the left. This is the left. When I hate to tell you this, but the protests that were happening back then were not Black Lives Matter. They were not anything. It was opportunists. When you have millions of people protesting, there's a huge distraction. And on the other side of that, you're going to have people smashing shit up because they can get away with it. They're not smashing shit up in the name of whatever. And it's just like what Dave Chappelle said about, I'm butchering this. I'm just going to paraphrase it very lightly. But he said, I went to have sex with a woman and I yelled Wu-Tang. Doesn't mean I'm in Wu-Tang. And it's like that. It's exactly that. That's not what they stand for. Whereas this shit, this QAnon, and again, I am acknowledging that it's separate from most of the conservatives. they are doing it for the sake of their cause. And this is what but instead of smashing up a Target, they're smashing up a fucking government building where they're trying to conduct government business and interfering with that. It's way different, and it's more directly connected to the actual cause than it is anything else.
Well,
but it is still a small percentage of them. I will say that.
Right, but same thing. Not everybody who was smashing shit up and lighting shit on fire was an opportunist. Some of them were BLM people that like took their shit to the extreme. But on the same token, I'm also willing to acknowledge that that is a very minute amount of the movement as a whole. It's a handful of fucking knuckleheads that decided to take shit in their own hands and gave the movement a bad name as a whole, or at least tried to.
Still, that wasn't. I gotta disagree with you because the message of Black Lives Matter is, and I mean, I hate to be the white guy talking about anything else other than that, but it's please don't shoot us, police, just because we're black.
No, I'm not.
That's what it is.
I'm not talking about the marches. I'm not talking about that.
I get it.
But when you have people setting buildings on fire, government buildings like police stations in Minneapolis, and there's nobody knows if there's people inside or not. That's taking shit too far. And to say absolutely 100% that none of those people are part of the BLM crowd.
That's not what I'm saying. Just wait. I'm trying to say that the message that they're conveying isn't destruction, and that is the message of the QAnon psychos.
Yeah,
because they've been saying that since day one. Come and take my guns, or whatever the fuck it is. Like they've been hinting at violence and destruction, and we'll be there. We're ready. Like this is exactly what they've been threatening to do the whole time, even when Trump was in power. It's like conservative. They have the Republicans in the Senate, the House, the presidency, and they're still angry, and they're still like, we're ready, we're on standby, and right. This is exactly what they threatened to do. Whereas Black Lives Matter, it's not about smashing up a Target. It's a totally different message, and they're doing exactly what they said that they were going to do. And again, we're talking about a very small, microscopic percentage of conservatives, Republicans, whatever, that are doing this. I fully acknowledge that. I'm saying this is their message. The Black Lives Matter situation where shit was getting smashed up and lit on fire was not. That is a huge fucking glaring difference.
But that's what I'm saying. Can you tell me 100% that the people engaged in that were all just opportunists, all looters, and none of them had associated with the message of Black Lives Matter and just took it to the extreme?
Well, I don't know, buddy. I wasn't outside taking a pull.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. I'm making your point, but on the other side, and on both sides, it was. Now I'm saying I'm not comparing the Black Lives Matter movement to what happened at the Capitol. I want to make that distinction. What happened at the Capitol was absolute horseshit because those people were there to march because they believed that there was voter fraud. There wasn't fucking voter fraud. Racism is still very much alive in this country, so I'm not equating the two by any means. I'm just talking about the fucking knuckleheads that were doing the stupid shit.
Right, and the message is infinitely different. One is about racial equality. One is about trying to steal an election. Like right. They think that the election was stolen from them, despite one of the biggest blowout losses ever in terms of popular vote. And so they want to, I don't know, overturn it, I guess. I don't know what they're thinking is the end game here. Is it just a protest, smashing up the Capitol building? And that's the thing. Like someone died. Someone died by the police, and they're trying to equate that to George Floyd. George Floyd, a man is, well, he passed around a fake $20 bill or someone, they said that that's what he did. So 4 guys had to bring him down. One of them, as we all know, what happened with that. This is a woman breaching several layers of security. And I've seen the video. I do not recommend you look it up. It's pretty fucked up. But I don't know if you've seen it, Brandon, but where the woman got shot, she was trying to climb through a window where there were elected officials on the other side somewhere, and they were pointing guns at her, saying, fucking stop. And she wouldn't stop, and they're barricading themselves in. She was climbing through the window. They shot her. Down she went.
So what you're saying is if she would have listened to the police, she would still be alive today?
Brandon.
Yes.
I know what you're fucking trying to do.
Yes.
Again, false equivalency. That is not the same. That is not what happened in the George Floyd situation. Like, at that point, she wasn't in handcuffs. If she was in handcuffs, face down, and there, stop laughing, you fucking troll. God. God. Okay, but I will say that if she was in handcuffs and the police were on her and they put pressure on her neck and she was begging for air and she died, fuck yeah. That is bullshit. But that's not what happened. It was a very different situation. And George Floyd did listen to the police.
Yeah.
As they do in most times. Okay, what about Breonna Taylor? She was fucking asleep. You know? And I'm not trying to be one of those people that get over the top into this shit because, you know what? I'm a white dude. I don't know what it's like. I can't say anything about it. All I can do is listen. That's my personal stance. White people want to come after me for that and say, no, you need to do more. In my experience, that's what I've hurled at me. And whenever black people comment to me directly, it's thanks for listening, pal. That's what we're asking for. It's angry white people coming after me. You need to do this and that. Anyways, that's the parallel to that. Well, you fucking troll.
So the thing we can agree on is that fucking white people, especially white women, fuck shit up for everybody.
I mean, I'm not gonna say paint everyone with the same brush racially. That's like a double metaphor there. I will say that Bill Burr pretty much hit the nail on the head a couple months ago on Saturday Night Live, talking about white women declaring themselves people of color. If you haven't seen it yet, look it up. Bill Burr, SNL from October. I want to say October 22nd. It's so fucking good. I remember the date. Check that out.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
That's my point on it.
All right. Well, fair enough. And on that note, why don't we go ahead and add a little levity to the podcast now and move on to my favorite game, which is California, Florida, or Canada, man.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing this earlier in the episode because people like this shit. But fuck you, because you're just going to listen to it early and then go on to a different podcast. No. 20 minutes in or 22 minutes, this is good.
All right. Fair enough.
Fuck, I'm a little drunk. I burped in the mic. That's so gross.
God, yes, you are.
I'll edit this out.
All right. So, let's... Florida, California, or Canada, man. Here's our first story. Now, if you are new to the podcast, here's the game. I'm going to read a headline with the location removed. It's Dave's job to guess if this individual is a Florida, California, or Canada person. And each round, any of those places are back in play. So are you ready to get going with this?
I sure am ready.
All right. And the first one is woman finds raccoon in Christmas tree, chaos ensues.
Now that is a fucking headline. In today's world, amazing. Woman finds raccoon in Christmas tree. Okay. I'm sorry, what are the three options again? I've only played this a million times.
Yeah. Florida, Canada,
Florida.
Or California.
It's Florida.
All right, yeah, it's Florida. You bastard. God damn it, Dave. You're on your fucking phone, aren't you? You son of a bitch.
See, you thought I was texting. I was cheating, bitch.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, oh, I'm drunk. I don't know what I'm doing. You motherfucker.
Yeah, I was cheating. I was Googling it as you were saying it.
God, see, that's why we do need a fucking wall on the northern border. Keep dirty, cheating Canadians like you out.
I stole the election just like I stole this game.
God. Yeah, Dave Biden over here. All right, moving on. Put your fucking phone down, Dave. All right. Trump supporter who walked off with Pelosi's lectern identified as blank man.
Florida.
Right.
Florida. I'm not cheating. That is fucking Florida all the way.
That is some Florida shit to do.
Wait, which dude? The podium guy or the
the podium guy?
That was hilarious. What a great picture that is.
It actually,
I don't agree with this happening. That's not what I'm saying. But holy shit, that's funny.
That's goddamn hilarious. No one got hurt with him doing that. So fair enough. All right, and moving on to our last one: is this Florida, California, or Canada? Man who filmed, quote, prank video, unquote, at Catholic Mass charged with hate crime. Did that happen in Florida, California, or Canada?
Okay, definitely not Florida. Although that is where teasing the Catholics will get you, charged with a hate crime because, Christians are such a minority and
Yep.
persecuted bunch.
Goddamn right.
I feel like Canada is a little too. They wouldn't really care enough. Yeah, California.
All right, I finally got you. This one actually was Canada.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Whereabouts?
Well, this actually won't surprise you. It's one of the southern areas. It would be the Alabama Edmonton.
Edmonton. Really? No,
Yeah.
that is surprising because in Edmonton, it's the Wild West there. They don't give a fuck. They're too worried about what duct tape to use to tape up their broken windows with.
Well, that Jesus Christ. Well, that must have been Yoga Pants Trudeau coming in and so yeah, here's the crazy thing. So I reading the story, how they got to this point, I have no fucking idea. So basically, the big thing is he got in trouble for exposing himself to a priest in the archdiocese. So the priest, yeah, or the whatever it was, the diocese.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. What was the original headline? I think I misheard that, or I wasn't.
No.
attention.
So the headline was "Man who filmed prank video at mass in Canada charged with hate crime." But reading
the prank was him whipping his dick.
Yeah,
that's not a prank.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's what they call it.
That's a sex crime.
But yeah, so yeah,
don't be whipping dick.
So yeah,
poke and peck, wave and ween.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, so the dude came up to the priest and he thought the guy just wanted to talk to him about confessional because he was talking in Italian, and I guess the Degarinis are real big in that area, with that area of Edmonton and that diocese. And so I guess he was getting ready to, give the guy a confession or some shit. And I guess the guy just whipped out a bottle of wine and was drinking that, and then decided to pull his pants down in front of everybody that was there in the fucking church, and then decided to run off afterwards.
So he pulled his pants down and ran away. He wasn't he wasn't jerking it. He wasn't pulling peck. He was just waving peck.
Yeah. He just pulled his pants down, showed his shit off, and then ended up
not
taking
that
off.
I'm excusing it, but there is a difference.
No, but but the thing that got him caught though was he recorded it and then put it online because
right.
That's like every one of those idiots
100%.
does. So Mr. Canada.
Damn. But who amongst us hasn't drank a bottle of wine and pulled it out? You know what I'm saying? I was just talking about that with somebody. When things are getting a little squirrely, it's not dicks that come out. It's titties. Titties are what come out in the big party scene, and that's fine. No one cares about that. It's when you start flashing clam or waving ween, that's when it's a little too much.
Yeah.
But at least there's a huge difference between someone taking their pants off and running around versus pulling their dick out. I feel like pulling it out or pulling your pants down to your knees and being man or woman, anybody doing that, that's I'm here to be weird and make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas someone taking their pants off, it's a party,
Yeah.
So he's partying in the church. I mean, you shouldn't do that, obviously, but there is,
Hey, they got wine in the church.
a little different, yeah.
It's the blood of Christ. Drink up.
Right, well, I mean, like you said, the dumbest thing you could do was post on social media, which gets you in trouble.
Dun, dun, dun.
Your fucking president. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah. Trump got himself suspended off of Twitter finally.
Well, they gave him 12 hours, at least so I hear. Of all people, Sacha Baron Cohen, who doesn't even follow me. I follow him. He hit me up in a DM. He's like, hey, can you retweet this? I'm trying to spread the word. And I was just like, whatever you say, Borat.
Yeah.
Anything for you. I wouldn't care if it was a video of him pulling his pants down in front of a priest. It's like, I will do anything that man says. But it was about this. He wants Trump to be permanently banned. He doesn't want companies profiting off of hatred, which in my opinion, that's exactly what it is. I agree with that. So on Twitter, he got 12 hours.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, he got 2 weeks. The remainder of his term. So how do you feel about that? Because I'm all for it. He's inciting violence.
Allegedly.
What's the word that they used?
Sedition.
I had to look that word up, to be honest.
Well, so did I. And then now everyone's fucking throwing it around
Right.
like they've been using it their whole goddamn life.
Right. I mean, it's the same, whatever. Tomato, or in this case, tomidin. Never heard this word before, but whatever, that's fine. He is using this platform to incite violence, in my opinion, and also in their opinion. And guess what? Twitter's a private company. So is Facebook. When you sign up for it, you agree to the terms of service when you activate your account, and you must abide by these rules. And if you don't, they fuck your shit up. They close you down. It's not a matter of censorship. It's a matter of follow the rules or get kicked off the platform. It's that simple. It's no different than somebody, if you owned a restaurant and somebody came in and starts barking out, racial slurs, you have every right to kick them out.
Yes. Now, agreed. Here's the thing, though. So social media is still pretty well in its infancy. Like, we like to think it's been around a long time, but realistically, it only really got going in the late 2000s. And with the advent of the smartphone, it finally started picking up with apps and everything. So now, I mean, you literally have the entire world at your fingertips, which didn't exist before. Much like, electricity at one point, or water, hydro in Canada, they call it.
Well, hydro is separate. Hydro is
but what I'm saying is, like, these weren't just like, oh, well, these are automatically like public utilities. So now with the growth of social media getting as big as it is, with literally billions of people on there, here in the U.S., pretty much, the majority of the people have an account. At what point do we just allow a large company like that to allow certain speech to go out to the masses, literally controlling what a large contingency of this country is going to hear or not hear?
okay, but again, we live in a capitalist society, meaning free enterprise, the free market.
Right, but
so they're allowed to put whatever rules they want on their platform, no matter how big it is. If it's that big, and the government buys it out, and then the government decides what they can do, is that what you want, Brandon? Do you want to control by the government?
Well, I'm just saying, though, that if it's a car company, I wouldn't give a shit if car company A sells like 90% of the cars in this country because they make a better product than companies B and C. That I don't have a problem with. But like I said, when you're talking about the flow of information and what voices are allowed to speak the loudest, and if you can just take away the voice of somebody, including a president, which again, you would have to actually be able to determine that he actually incited violence 100%, and that's still, like I said, it's on the border. But so you're shutting down the flow of ideas and information, and I'm a guy who's definitely on board with more speech, not less speech, for a couple of reasons. Obviously censorship, but two, it allows you to weed out the idiots, bad ideas, bad people. It lets you know who fucking stands where because they're allowed to run their fucking mouths.
Okay, but going back to Trump specifically being, it's not censorship and deciding who gets to speak and who doesn't. It's when you're on that platform, you can't do anything to what they deem incite violence. And yeah, it's unfair that the person who owns the platform gets to decide what counts as that. For whatever reason, that's unfair. It's not. If they feel like you're inciting violence, they will shut you down. He agreed to those terms when he signed up for it. And it's not like they're promoting one idea over the other. It's the Wild West. If enough people share a particular idea, that's what gets out there more than anything else. Right now, there's a wide variety of ideas being spewed out, and everybody lives in their own echo chamber and feels like this is the biggest idea ever because everywhere I turn, it's all the same thing that I'm saying. So they feel that when they get suspended for posting whatever crazy shit they are, that it's censorship or silencing them and they victimize themselves, and that's not what it is.
Okay,
You agree to, and it's a private company. The end.
Okay,
No shirt, no shoes, no service, buddy.
Okay, so what about when the Russians were like paying for ads on Facebook and shit like that, and they decided that they would they took the money from these groups and they ran those ads on Facebook, and not every one of them incited violence. Some of them were pages about just like, hey, support the police, or hey, support Black Lives Matter in some cases, and they weren't all like right-wing groups. But the government stepped in that instance, and they're like, well, this is messing with our elections. And so the government basically said, look, either you guys shut this shit down or we're going to shut this shit down. And so they silenced those voices, even though those ads didn't necessarily violate the terms of service. Are you okay with them shutting shit down if they don't violate the terms of service, regardless of where it comes from?
Okay, I see what you're getting at. So theoretically, if a foreign country were to buy up ads to influence our election, technically it's not violating the terms of service. And that's been the debate within Congress, is should we be allowed to stop something that's fucking with our election? The thing is, Brandon, is it's if they were to be pushing political ads, like say it was a Donald Trump approved ad or a Hillary Clinton approved ad or Joe Biden, whatever, but that's one thing. But that's not what they're doing. They were perpetuating complete fucking lies to the right people, because you don't understand. No one seems to understand exactly how much these social media sites know about you. There's documentaries about it now. You should watch them all. The Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. Everyone should fucking watch that. You should see exactly how much they keep track of you by all of your browsing, everything you do on your phone, certain words that you say, things you search, everything is being tracked. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That is fucking true. There's proof of that. Just watch it.
Right, and it's how they sell ads, and they determine who they're going to target with those ads.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Much like the Russians who bought the ads.
That's
on
what I'm
social
saying.
Media.
So
the social media companies are doing the same thing.
Well, no, it's one and the same. They're finding people that are extremely impressionable, could vote one way or the other, and they're pushing one particular agenda onto the American people that would benefit their own country, which was Donald Trump.
Yeah, and
and at this point, it's an indisputable fact. So all these people out there saying like, well, Trump lost and he's trying to claim voter fraud, when the liberals did that for years about Russia. Okay, take it up with Republicans, because there was a joint effort between Republicans and Democrats into, separate from the Mueller report, none of that shit, not even including, has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with Russia interfering on it. And they've proven that Russia did in fact influence the election in a very devastating way.
No, they didn't influence the election. They bought like $150,000 worth of ads on Facebook.
$150,000?
$150,000 worth of ads on Facebook that were across all 50 states, and that was over the course of like 2 years. Some of those ads and those pages on Facebook and so forth were up, didn't even go up until after the election was over. On Twitter, it was like $100,000 for like promoted tweets or bot accounts or whatever the hell it was, and then to like promote those bot accounts. So it was like $250,000. It was a nothing burger. That's it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it didn't do much, but that's getting away from like the main talking point though of the flow of information. Like, are we going to allow like a small group of people to allow it? Because there's people on social media that spew bullshit all the time that don't violate the terms of service technically, but they spew their bullshit to their, they know their audience, they know who they're going to bring in and all that. But let me ask you this question. Do you see a point when social media gets too big or influential when the government would have to step in? Do you see that happening at some point?
I mean, we're already seeing it. I think that's what they're doing when they're saying, okay, it's so big that it's fucking up with our elections. And no matter how much you try to say it affected or didn't affect it, bipartisan effort was made and they deemed it enough of an influence to acknowledge it. We'll just say that.
Sure.
Acknowledge it. Now, because like you said, social media is in its infancy, rules that we make about what what you can and can't do are kind of being made up on the fly because we don't fucking know any better. We've lived thousands of years without it, and here we are. What the fuck? And to be honest, when it comes to ideas, I'm all for that. But I think more rules need to be made in terms of elections. I really do think that. My idea of a perfect election involves you don't know anything about the candidate except their ideas. You don't know what they look like. You don't know what they sound like. You don't even know how old they are. You just know their ideas and nothing else.
Yeah, it's like The Voice or whatever, where like they're not looking, they just hear someone singing.
Right.
They might know it's a man or a woman, they may
Exactly.
not. And then and they're judging purely just off of talent.
And every one of them passes a competency test, a mental competency test.
Yes, I'm on board with that.
So, I mean, Trump and Biden would have failed that probably.
Yeah.
But and that's pretty extreme. That'll never fucking happen. But ideally, if everyone was just forced to look at issues and that's it, and you don't know anything about them, they can't campaign beyond their ideas. They can't talk shit about the other candidate. None of that. And social media can't air ads based on political ideas. I mean, I'd be all for that, to be honest. To be honest.
To give you a little nod
and that's
here.
some commie shit. I'll acknowledge that.
Sure, but to give you a nod, I like the way Canadians do their shit. They have elections every 4 years, but they have more than two parties to hear from, and it only lasts a fucking month. They go out there, they have their debates. This shit lasts a month, and then it's fucking done and over. It's a goddamn year and a half, usually at the least here, depending when everybody gets started. But
and you could have a majority or minority government because they have a parliament system.
Yeah,
which it's not one extreme or the other, and the other 49% are left in the dust. If a president wins 51% of the vote. Oh, Brandon, why in the microphone?
Well, because you did it.
I was like over here a little bit. I was like kind of doing this, and then I didn't fucking actively push my disgusting face. Whatever.
I'm sorry. I was influenced by your speech, Dave. Now, while we're on the subject, this is a hint for you. We had our Valley Boys moment of the year where we had our listeners vote to tell us what they thought the moment of the year was from us. I think so. Now,
what'd they say?
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. Which moment do you think it was?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I mean, really, the best moments were the ones that we couldn't air. Or the guests, like we had Jamie Kennedy on the pod, and that did not. It's still at the Shit Shack. The episode of the Shit Shack is like going to be raided by the FBI or something. I'm making a joke. I'm speculating. That's a joke. It's not going to be raided by the FBI. I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Okay.
Well, so what was it? What was the best moment?
Well, this actually comes down to a free speech movement that involves you, Dave. Something happened with
what?
Yes, something happened with one of your tweets where jack off fucking Dorsey at Twitter and his fucking commie rules decided that your tweet was unacceptable.
No.
Yes. Do you want to know what it was, Dave?
Yeah.
No,
maybe not.
When that psycho...
Do I know about this?
Yes. You fucking tweeted it. Or you tried to. It was when that dude down in San Diego or Oceanside, that area, went to a grocery mart, and he had a Klan hood on as a mask because he was required to wear a face covering. So he was walking around the grocery store. Yeah. Oh, yeah, now you know what I'm talking about.
And I told... Oh, yes.
Yeah. It finishes it. Please finish the story. Let's hear it from
this
horse's
is what
mouth.
Said was the best moment on the podcast?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, people. I accept this award. No, it was so yeah, the dude wore a Klan hood, like full covering face mask to protest wearing a mask in a grocery store, and so I had tweeted a picture of it. I said, "Hey, I found the guy. His name is Brandon Collins. He's at El Oso Blanco 69. Let's get him, guys." And then
Yeah, and then what happened?
the whole fucking internet went against you because that tweet went out there, man, and people were just dogpiling on you for the whole day. I was laughing so hard, and yeah, Twitter did. I go to log in and they're like, your account's been locked. You have to delete. You have the option of deleting this tweet, or deleting your account.
Yeah, and do you know why you had to delete that tweet, Dave? Because of sedition. You were targeting violence towards me.
I did. There were so many people.
Good. Yeah,
So many people that were so bad at you.
All right, Dave and Trump are the same person. Glad we agree. We settled that.
I didn't say that. But you know what I did? I issued a fake apology. Not my first, but I had to. I said there was no way to know whether or not this was Brandon, because look at his family photos. And I posted pictures of you like at Christmas time wearing like a Christmas clan hoodie or clan hood and Easter or whatever. And then everybody's like, that's not funny. But like 3 people thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Those are my people.
Well, I'm glad your 3 people showed up for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was appalled and disgusted.
Yeah. I'm not
Sedition!
apologizing for that. I apologize for tweeting it, but I'm not sorry. Man, I'm so good at faking apologies, like public apologies. Not even my first one. I had an open mic closed down when I was like a few years ago back in Winnipeg, and I issued an apology. Fucking faking it, dude.
All right. Well, this is opposite day on the podcast where apparently Dave has become the old dump truck, and I'm standing up for free speech over here. So.
Wait, to be clear, the open mic I had shut down because there was a couple. It was one where me and Garrett. Well, because there was one I apologized for where I was being real, and the other one I was faking it. It was the one that me and Garrett went up, and we were making fun of each other in very vulgar and disgusting ways. I am not sorry for that. I said I was, but I'm not.
I can believe that. Well, moving on here with the theme of our listeners. So we got ourselves a hypothetical this week. We haven't done that for a while, so I figured I threw that out there. So Shannon from Utah wants to know
how many of her husbands, or no, how many sister wives she should have at once. She lives in Utah.
Yeah. She wants to know how many lesbian sister wives she.
I didn't
should
say
have in
lesbian.
Utah. Well, I mean, she's marrying women.
Does she want to know what it's like to drink 3% alcohol or higher?
what? Possibly, but the question that we have currently is, being that I'm a conservative and you're a liberal, what view does each of us have that would surprise people?
Oh, you as in Brandon.
Well, she wants to know, like, as a conservative,
So she addressed it to you.
Yeah, I'll start first, but the people want to hear from you because you're on a fucking roll today, dump truck. For me, like I'm actually very liberal when it comes to social issues like shit like free speech. I believe that we definitely need more, not less. And I hate the term like classically liberal, but
that's more of a conservative thing, the whole free speech, because they use that as a guise to be racist.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like back in the 60s and the 70s when people were used to fight for free speech, like the whole I'll fight for your right to say whatever you want, even if I disagree with it type of thing. Obviously as long as it doesn't, cause sedition and incite violence.
No one's surprised that a conservative would be for free speech.
Yeah, but I'm not talking in the sense of like
I get it, but still.
No, but in an age of like cancel culture, when we have like the extremists who are trying to shut down speech, that used to be the authoritarian right that used to do that type of shit. Joseph McCarthy, the whole McCarthy hearings when they were trying to label people communists back in the 50s and shit like that. Like that was what the right wing was trying to do. Now it's moved over to the left. So as things do generationally, things shift depending on the side. So yeah, I agree. There's a lot of people that say, yeah, I want to be able to say whatever I want, even if it's racial slurs and shit like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not advocating for people's ability to incite violence, but again, like ideas, throw out, whatever it is that you want to say, and you shouldn't have to fear getting your head busted in because of it. You shouldn't have to fear being thrown off of a college campus because you say something that people don't want to hear, even if it's provocative or controversial. And again, outside the realm of inciting violence, shit like that. That's the type of thing I'm talking about. But socially, like I said, when it comes to social issues, I'm probably just as liberal as you are. I'm more conservative in other
I was
areas.
going to say free speech is the worst. Even with all of your follow up on that, I would say for you, the biggest thing about a conservative is that you're all for things like single payer healthcare, which, believe it or not, most conservatives, when they learn what that is and learn how to make it happen, they're all for it.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to social policy.
Right, social policies, you are more of a burn dog.
Yeah.
R.I.P. basically, but
So
that's what I think for you. For me, I want you to say what people would be surprised about me. I don't want to know, but I'll answer that question too because I'm supposed to answer it too, right?
Yeah. So yeah, each of
For
us.
me, it's the thing that would surprise people about me, a liberal, that I'm all for is free speech. And again, same thing. I'm not talking about dropping N-bombs. I'm not talking about, I mean, unless you're quoting somebody directly and it's in that no, don't say that. But things like jokes, okay? It's like, yeah, it sucks when people. I've seen a comedian with a shaved head, dude, go up on stage and just say the most horrific shit ever.
Oh, he fucking went on a Michael Richards routine?
Basically, yeah, but it was a million years ago. It was like open mic level. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things where the audience will dictate whether or not he succeeds. You know?
Yeah.
And in the context of a joke, you either have to say it's all okay or none of it's okay, which sucks because what you personally, take you who's listening, whatever it is that you feel is not okay to joke about. Let's say you're allowed to pick one thing. Your one thing you can't joke about is going to be different for every single person. And if every single person gets to say that one thing that is something you can't joke about, all of a sudden we can't joke about anything. So my thing, it's either all okay or none of it's okay, and let the audience filter that out for you. Because guess what? Anthony Jeselnik, one of the most, if you listen to his routines, fucking hilarious, but brutal. And it's over the top horrific.
Right.
It's not racist, but it's just the worst shit that you'll hear outside of that. And he gets away with it. He tweeted something about that too. Someone was like, this guy tweeted about killing babies. And he makes jokes about that. And he tweeted like, what do you mean jokes?
Yeah.
Or something to that effect. And it's like, yeah, exactly. I mean, he's at that level, which is crazy because nobody starting out now would probably get away with that. But that's what I'm saying. Let the audience figure it out. And that's what people are surprised about because I am all about censoring things that cause violence. I don't think jokes do that. I understand how they perpetuate negative stereotypes. I get that. But at the same time, if it's shit, if it's not funny, it won't go anywhere.
Right. So what you're saying is basically you're coming over to my side of the aisle. So we've already determined tonight that Dave and Trump have something in common.
No.
And then now, you just said the free speech is a conservative thing now. So glad we agree.
It is. It's a conservative point
Dave.
now. Well, that was me answering that question. Now I'm going to get fucking canceled.
Well, and we've talked about this before, but the thing I found like really interesting, and especially in the realm of comedy, I was watching some old episodes of Reno 911 with my roommate, who's about 12 years younger than me. And he saw the old Comedy Central logo, and he said, well, what did you used to watch? What was your go-to on Comedy Central back in the day? And one of the first things that popped in my mind, The Fucking Man Show. Especially being a teenager, the hormones running high and shit like that. And it was fucking hilarious,
With who, Doug Stanhope?
No, the original one with Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel. And that's what really surprised me because I hadn't seen the show probably since it originally aired. And they were doing some bits, like one was about fishing. And so they were talking about, the things that you need to be a good fisherman. And one of them, they were talking about beer. And Jimmy Kimmel, if you watched, his late night show, you know exactly, where he stands on shit nowadays. He had a line along the lines of like, beer to a fisherman is kind of like the bean is to the Mexican. And when he said that, like, hearing it with 2020 years or 2021 years, I was like, holy shit, man, I can't believe, like, because he used to get in trouble or people would give him shit here a couple years ago for doing the whole blackface, the Karl Malone thing. But going back and like hearing some of those jokes and shit like that, and yeah, granted, it was jokes in the realm of comedy. It was on Comedy Central. It's not like he was on the street corner yelling the shit out. But I mean, you talk about a different time. Holy shit, man! Like I didn't realize some of the jokes that actually came out of his mouth back then. And if he tried doing that today on Jimmy Kimmel Live, holy fuck, man.
Well, that goes along with what I'm saying. What I was saying earlier. I mean, if he were to make those jokes now, yeah, fuck him. Yeah. I mean, whatever. It's shitty. But the audience will dictate that, which goes along with what I said. The audience will dictate, fuck him. But at the same time, jokes he was making 20 years ago, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying that at the time, he got away with it. The climate dictated he could and celebrated him for it, which is shitty. It sucks. And thank God I wasn't around back then. Not that I would have said anything like that, but
Well, and it was everywhere because it got me thinking about other stuff. So this was mid to late 90s. What else was going on? Pro wrestling, where they had women in bra and panty matches. So they put women in the ring and they would have to like tear each other's clothes off until one was down to their bra and panties. So like women were just sex objects on TV. Jerry Springer, when they had the strippers coming out, they were rolling around on stage, their asses, sticking out and all that. So everything was like hyper sexualized, hyper, racist to a degree. I mean, it went on in all mediums. It was accepted at the time. So I don't fault Kimmel for that. Like he was just going with the times, but he did come out like when he was confronted with it and he said, yeah, it was accepted at the time. That's what we went with. But like, I'm not that person anymore. I don't do that anymore. I'm 100% fine with that.
Right. And it's different than him saying it's just a joke, which sounds like I'm contradicting myself by going with like, oh, it's just a joke. I don't think things are just a joke. Like you can't just go up and say the N-word 20 times and be like, I was just joking. Like, there are lines in the sand. Yeah. But when something old that you said, which at the time comedy was like that, you can't be judged by today's standards on that now. As long as he acknowledges it and did what he did, to me, it's like give him another shot. That's my opinion, but I'm not the guy that's being offended by it. I mean, it's every other white person that gets involved. You have no right. I have every right to speak on behalf of people of color. That is the ultimate white privilege flex, is speaking on behalf of people of color. But on that note, let's end this shit with fuck.
Since we're talking about
Thank
jokes.
God it's at the end of this shit. I'm just gonna zone out. I don't know why you people like this. By you people, I mean you listeners. Brandon he's obsessed with his shitty jokes. I'm going to tune out. Hopefully I don't hear a single word of it. Brandon, you've got the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Collins. Boo.
So, just as I get done talking about humor done at a different time that was acceptable.
Just tell the fucking joke.
I'm going to take it back a little bit to when Gilbert Gottfried told this joke at the roast of George Takei.
Hurry up.
Shut up, Dave. All right, so a man, he ends up in prison, right, and gets sentenced to life. Well, he's sitting there in the bunk, man, and he just breaks down and starts crying, and because he realizes he's going to die in the place, right? And so his bunkmate comes up to him and says, "Hey, man, what's wrong?" He says, "Oh, fuck, man, I'm here on life in prison. I'm going to die in here, blah blah blah." And his bunkmate says, "Whoa, man, it's not all bad in here." He says, "Really? What do you mean?" He says, well, let me ask you a question. Do you like baseball? Guy says, yeah, I like baseball. I like sports. He says, oh, that's great. Every Tuesday we have this big baseball game out in the yard. It's us versus the guards. Everyone gets along. It's great. He says, oh, all right, well, that sounds all right. And the guy says, let me ask you, do you like Italian food? Guy says, oh, yeah, I love Italian food. It's my favorite. He says, oh, that's great. Every Wednesday at lunchtime, we have this huge spread. We got lasagna and spaghetti and garlic bread. You're going to love it. It's the best that you've had. And guy says, all right, well, that doesn't sound so horrible. It seems all right. I think I might be able to handle this. And guy says, well, that's good. Glad to hear it. Just one more question for you, though. He says, do you like gay sex? And the guy says, oh, no, I don't like gay sex. The guy says, ooh, you're really going to hate Thursdays. Oh, Mr. Pouty Face Dave. Come on, that was funny.
It's over? You're done? There's no more Brandon joke for like another week? Fucking thank God. All right. You got the light on that.
I feel like I've had the light on me for about 5 minutes now, but they just like let the train wreck just happen. Everyone loves a good
All right,
train
there's
wreck.
your stupid fucking Brandon joke. If you're listening in your car, or wherever the hell you do this shit, make sure you tell your friends about us. Follow us on social media. Like, comment, share. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. A thumbs down if you hate it. As always, we are the Valley Boys Podcast, all one word, or the Valley Boys Pod. It's different. I don't know. We're the little fucking, it's purple and pink. That's us. Wear a mask out there. Coronavirus is not a joke. Currently, 1 in 5 people are testing positive for that shit here in LA. And you got to wear a mask, social distance. Just stay the fuck home if you can. Stay away from people, especially Brandon. Wear a mask around him at all times. Newport Beach, you guys are opening up. I don't know how that's possible, but, you little ghouls out there, watch it. When you're drinking Bloody Marys and walking along the beach. Fucking Newport Beach. It's amazing there, actually. It's very nice. I want to go. We should go there soon, now that things are open. I mean, wait, no.
Oh, conservative. Number 3. That's number 3. Dave's becoming a Republican as soon as he becomes a citizen of the United States.
Shut up.
Join
No,
the party.
No, I'm not. That's not true.
Vote for Trump 2024.
That's
Good night, everybody.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Fuck.